ferocity in which they are able to strike a talwar, or the power in their speech, just like Bhai Parminder saying, or the sweetness in the voice of Bibi Renaka, those are the things that will always last forever, because that is Gursikhi, and that is what all of those Gursikhs, all of them wanted to do. They wanted to pass on that message. They dedicated their life to Gursikhi, and myself and all the other Gursikhs that are associated and have been associated with Bhai Charanjit Singh, we are completely blessed. And for me, myself, I'm at the feet of the Charan of those Gursikhs who spent more time and learned more than I did from Ustad Ji. Ultimately, I know that there's only a few minutes left before we hand over, so I just want to share one thing that Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji taught me, if you like, and that is that with one strike, falsehood, but at the same time, by taking that var, by making that strike, you should also be able to illuminate Sat. You should also be able to illuminate truth. And that's not just on the battlefield. And I know that Bhai Charanjit Singh wasn't just talking about the battlefield when he gave me that analogy of making one strike where you completely do Dushtala Nas and you do Sapta Prakash. That wasn't about the battlefield. Yes, it was about the battlefield, that when you strike with a clean strike, but also at the same time, he was giving me, and he was giving the rest of the Sangat, a life lesson. That when we live in this world, that everything that we do, whether it's our actions or whether it's our words, that we speak the truth so that it completely destroys falsehood, and that it illuminates the truth, and it illuminates the light inside every single one of us. So for me, that's probably the biggest teaching, or the biggest gift that Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji gave to me personally, aside from this seed of Shaheed Bhai Mani Singh Ji Gatka Akhara, that with now we are seeing the blossom, that we are seeing the fruits of this seed that was given to us 16 years ago, through the next generation. And with Guru Sahib's Kirpa, not only will this seed bear fruits, but those fruits will bear seeds, so that we can then continue this cycle of planting. We can continue this cycle of spreading Gursikhi, and we can continue to spread this legacy of these three Gursikhs, who not only for me but throughout the entire world will have left a lasting impression. I thank Bhai Paneet Singh Ji, I thank Guru Nanak Academy, I thank Shaheed Babadeep Singh Ji Gatka Akhara, and ultimately I thank Ustad Ji Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji for allowing me to be blessed by his grace, so that we can continue to fly the flag of Gursikhi. I will have made many mistakes, Sad Sangat Ji. I apologize. In the short time that I was speaking, I know people were commenting, and but I was just, it was all for me. It was just, I just needed to speak about Bhai Sahib, and the impression that they gave to me, and they passed on to me. I will always be a sacrifice to their legacy, and I will always be a sacrifice to the Gursikhs like Bhai Paneet Singh Ji, all the other Gursikhs who have dedicated their lives to Gursikhi, and to continuing the spread of Gurmat Prachar. What the Singhs and Singhniya, the Sangatan that are doing at Guru Nanak Academy, that Bhai Parminder Singh Ji set up, is absolutely fantastic. And it would be an amazing thing that if every single city in all the countries in the world had an establishment like Guru Nanak Academy, where you were able to not just learn Gurmat Vidya in terms of Santhya, Gatha, but you were also able to take away the martial side of Sikhi as well, and have that next generation of becoming true Sant Sipahis. And that was the vision, that was the dream of these three Gursikhs, and from the academy, who are continuing that. It's through their efforts that we are able to even just share a few memories on this platform. And that this of these Guru Sikhs, but this is the Hukum, this is the greatness of Waheguru, and this is the greatness of Guru Sikhi, that no matter where we go, no matter what we do, no matter what obstacles will be put in front of us, we will always be able to remember those Guru Sikhs, because those Guru Sikhs represented truth. And that you will never be able to put out the fire of truth, because truth will always last forever. I would have made many bucks and hard bucks there. Nanak Bari Udara. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you very much, Bhai Jaskirat Singh Ji, for joining us all the way from England and sharing the impact that Bhai Jaskirat Singh Ji had that many of us don't even know about. One thing that Bhai Sahib was saying, and he's talking repeatedly about planting the seed and the fruit that grow from it, it reminded me, and the lesson that I learned from Bhai Jaskirat Singh Ji, it reminds me vividly of perhaps one of my most vivid memories of our last ever lesson, which would have been, I think, on May 5th, 2004, with Bhai Jaskirat Singh. It was the day, 2 days before they left to Edmonton for the Nagar Kirtan. And Bhai Sahib, at that practice, when we were all practicing, and they got everyone to put down their shastras, and they talked to us for quite some time. And they talked to us all the time, like sometimes hours, 2-hour tangents during class while we were practicing, but sharing it experiences, everything from like jokes to sakis to everything in between. And on this day, it was really formal though, as opposed to other times where they'd be teaching someone and they like something happened and they realize like, oh, this spot is good for everyone to know, so they'd call for everyone's attention, and then we'd all turn and we'd look, and then they'd be like, oh, and then this is how you defend it, blah blah blah, this is where I learned it. But this day they're like, everyone come, put your shastras down. And we all went and put our shastras down, we lined up, and Bhai Sahib started talking to us. These 3 lessons were the ones that they wanted to leave us with. And they said these 3 things, they repeated them. The first one was kind of like Jaskirat Singh Ji was saying, that Satta Prakash Karna, Dostada Nash Karna. They're saying that in the hands of a Gursikh, you don't call a talwar a talwar. So don't ever call a Gursikh's talwar a talwar when you're speaking, because a talwar is the instrument you use to attack someone, to do a var on somebody else. They said always use the term Siri Sahib or Karpan, and always treat your Shastra with that mentality, that this is not something for me to attack someone else with, but this is rather something for me to defend someone else with. So that was their first lesson. Their second one, which they repeated often, was that we want to make Shastra Vidya Gatka level that's going to be bigger than Karate. And that was their dream, that was their vision, and you can see with Bhai Mani Singh Ji Gatka Khada that they were planting the seeds, as Jaskirat Singh Ji was saying, for this to happen. And finally, their last lesson was that no matter what happens in your life, they said never let go of Shastras and never let go of Shastra Vidya. No matter how little or how much you can practice it, make sure that you are always doing abhyas, doing minute of Shastras and Shastra Vidya. So Bhai Sahib's talk sparked those memories. So I thank them again for taking the time to share their memories. A part of Bhai Sahib's legacy that a lot of us didn't know about. So now we're going to take just a brief pause, maybe about a minute